Here we are back over at the truck again. Just to recap what we've done so far. So far, we drained the fuel out of it. We got the fuel tank bypassed. We have a little gas can mounted here with about a gallon of gas in it. We put a new carburetor on it, a new fuel filter. We've got it cranked. Got a new battery. Our next project is to get a set of spark plugs in it, check the transmission fluid, and see if it'll go in drive. Let's get started. All right, I think we got everything we need here. We set of spark plugs. Neighbors driving by. I guess he's paying me a visit. I figured these are gonna be pretty tough to get off. They've been on there for a while, so if we can get the boots off without messing them up, that'll be a good sign. There's one. Let's get one out and see what it looks like here. This one actually feels pretty loose. No, maybe I'm not on there all the way. All right. Yeah, I think we probably want to go ahead and change these. They're like burning really rich, or they had bad gas going through it for a while. We'll check the gap on it. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So they're not too awful. As far as trying to get in and out, I've dealt with a lot worse. Again, this thing, pretty bad. Hopefully that's just trying to crank it with bad gas that caused that. This should let it run a lot better. And we continue on. One thing about summertime in Georgia, out here in the grass, you get eat up by bugs. I just had to go spray myself down. And now we'll continue on and go to the next set of plugs. And hopefully this won't take about another 30 minutes. We'll be done. There's the last one from this side. Basically, they all look about the same. They're all burnt, old, and need to be replaced. Which, that's what we're doing. Alright, that's half of them. And of course, I dropped the extension on the ground where I've got to get under the truck to go get it. That's real life with Russ. Be back. Alright, now we move to the other side and see how things go over here. The other side wasn't real bad. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 4. This one's got a little bit more stuff in the way, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, let's give it a shot, see what we can do with a couple of these right quick. Seems like this side's a little bit closer to the hood than the other side for some reason. Anyway, let's try to get this one right here. There we go. The plug wire comes off pretty easy. That's a good sign. There it is. Like I said, this comes in really handy. I really like this wrench. I've had it. I don't know where I found it at, but all I know is it comes in very handy. That little T-handle spins that thing. Yeah, I think pretty much all of them are going to look about the same. As you can see, they're pretty burnt. And I think it might have been from trying to crank it with bad fuel in the past. Anyway, let's get the rest of them in and we'll go from there. Alright, I think that's it. We got 8 in, 8 out. All the plug wires are back on it. And it's getting late in the afternoon after working all day. I think that was an accomplishment that I can count on. Tomorrow we'll try to get transmission fluid in it, check the brakes. Maybe we can get it over to the house tomorrow. We'll try. Stay tuned. Oh, by the way, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. I don't normally ask this, but what the heck. I just started doing this a few weeks ago, and they say you got to ask. So if you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll continue on tomorrow. All right, we're back over here again. We're going to pick up where we left off last night when it got late. I'm actually off early today. Got a little time to try to get this done, so let's get at it. All right. I just topped off the auxiliary fuel tank over on the other side. Make sure I got plenty of gas to get it over to the house. If I can get it rolling. Got spark plugs in it last night. We need to check the transmission fluid. See if it's got any in it at all. We've got some to put in it. I'm gonna need a little step stool or something to get to it here. Even before we can crank it, get it hot, let's just see if we see anything on the dipstick here. Absolutely no. All right, let's put some in it anyway before we try to put it in gear. We got some multi-purpose ATF here. Step. Need to poke a hole in it. See if I can do this, not making too big of a mess. That's a hard rig for a short guy. Just make a mess here. All right. See if we see anything. Oh, I see something now. I think if I crank it up, it'll go down quite a bit. Well, let's try to crank it up and see what happens here. All right, let's put the battery back on there. Get everything hot again. All right, there's that. All right, let's see what happens. It should crank. Got plenty of gas in the gas can here. Here we go. There we go. That spark plugs helped 100%. It's idling pretty good right now. Choke open on it. All right, let's lower the hood a little bit so we can see, and let's put it in gear. See what happens here. Feels like I got brakes. We're not moving. Alright, let's try this again. Alright. Alright. It all disappeared. What we were seeing before ain't there no more. Let's put the rest of this in there. It's probably going to take it. Alright, there. Maybe a little left in here. Oh man. Alright, that's it. That's 5 quarts. Let's get the stick back in it. And it says you can see it. And until I crank it, I got a feeling it's going to be just like it was before. It's just going to freaking disappear. Alright, let's lower the hood where we can see if it does move. Alright, try it again. I got the air conditioner on. The windows rolled down. Ah, it moved. And it stopped. Ah, by golly, it's got brakes and it moves. And all we gotta do is get it to the house. I hate to have to walk back and get my truck though, but we got it. It's running pretty good right now. Alright, I think it might need some power steering fluid. And I think basically it needs to run for a little while. But at this point right now, it's running pretty good for something that ain't been cranked in 6 years. Alright then. We've got some crap in the back of the bed that I'm going to have to get off before I take it to the house. I think there's a stove on the back of the truck that's been probably sitting there since it was parked. Alright, it's moving. Before we do anything else, I guess we need to check the power steering fluid. Check the brake fluid. It stopped. I think it's probably okay. Power steering fluid probably needs a little bit, and we've got some of that. So let's take a look and see what we got. I think we're in good shape here. If we could just get it to the house, we can do a lot more. We can get this thing cleaned up. So let's go from there. Alright, power steering box is way down here, and it's pretty filthy. And there's nothing in it. So it's a good thing we looked. And we have some abracadabra presto power steering fluid. I don't know how we're going to aim this in here. I guess we'll have to get our transmission foam, which ain't going to hurt anything. I've used transmission fluid for power steering fluid before in a pinch. It works. There we go. It's full now. Matter of fact, it's a lot full. That's okay. It'll probably leak out before I get home anyway. It did stop. It seems like the master cylinder is working. This thing's pretty corroded, but yeah, I think it use a little bit of this too. Yeah, it's pretty nasty, but I think it's going to stop. I got a little bit. The front brakes or front reservoir is completely empty. Let's add a little bit to that too. Well, Dot had some brake fluid here. I guess she took it with her. I have to go back to the house and get some. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I found a can of brake fluid at the house, about as old as the truck. I think this comes from AutoZone about 10 years ago. Never been opened. It should work. I don't think it goes bad. Even if it does, I think it's just going to bleed out on the ground with this thing anyway. All right. Let's pop this thing back off again. All right. There you go. All right. Well, it's topped off. It's got some in it now. All right. Let's give it a shot again. Here we go. This thing cranks pretty good right now. I feel brakes. I turned the air conditioner back on. There. All right. I guess we try to roll it a little ways and see what happens here. All right. Here we go. Hey, it's driving. It stopped and it drove. Well, we're going to try to get it to the house. I'm in it now. Well, there goes nothing here. Well, we made it. We got it over from there to the shop. So, wasn't too bad. It pulls really hard. The tires need some air in it. But it's filthy. First thing we got to do is try to get the pressure washer a hold of this thing. Get everything out of the back of it. But speaking of the back, we haven't even looked at the back of the truck yet. The tag on here is, heck, I don't even know. I don't even see a date on it. There it is, right there. 2020 was the last tag. So that's been 6 years ago. It's about where I figured, about 6 years. But overall, the body's in good shape. Don't see no rust anywhere along the bottom. Maybe a little bit right here. Some down the rockers a little bit. The grill's in good shape. Tires and wheels should clean up. The beauty rims are in the back of the truck for the front. The air cleaner, everything that goes on the truck's there. And there's even a transmission jack in the back of the truck that's brand new, never been opened. I'm sure at one time they were going to do something about the transmission that leaks like crazy. Speaking of that, I think I probably need to get something under the truck to keep from getting it all over my driveway. Anyway, alright, there we go. Now I got to walk back all the way from where I come and go get my truck that's sitting over there. I'll be back. It's got rally wheels on it with 4x4 centers, and it's not a 4x4 truck. Oh, that's the top. Anyway, we got a good bit of the dirt off of here. So it's starting to look a lot better. Just knocking the top layer off. We got it soaked down. We're gonna let it set for a few minutes and pressure wash it off. We're not gonna get too carried away with it right now. We just want to knock some of the top layer off to see what we got. Alright, let's spend about 5 minutes to see what happens and see how it does. Well, now that it's had a chance to dry. Well, the next thing we have to do is make a list of stuff we got to get done. We'll do that and we'll get started. See you on episode 3. It's not bad.